Go sama you 2,000 naira fiam. Oh yeah, abi you still the wait? If you no fit find your MTN SIM, no wahala. Just go the nearest MTN shop, go to SIM swap and enjoy 2,000% bonus. Terms and conditions dey sha o.
You don't think we MTN don't they paint everywhere yellow? So they we paint cow and water yellow. That time myself. Now only call and text messages a day. Now we don't ready to make your life even better with our new MTN Nyafu SIM. We carry plenty better inside. This one now be better when you go they collect more small like a contribution. This one now see the heart. Just buy MTN Nyafu SIM. Load 100 naira. Before you open your eye close up 800 naira. Don't sit down. They wait for you inside your phone. I no carry water for mouth. Load 100 naira and 800 naira don't be your phone. Make you take a call any network and browse as you like. The one way cost with my person. I say anytime when you load credit, don't open make you begin use WhatsApp for free without any money. So therefore you fit begin to send that picture to kitchen or that video to Sandra anywhere with them day. What do you wait for? Carry waka go buy your new MTN SIM. Make you begin enjoy Nyafu.
You're tuned in to the Front Page News on Classic FM 97.3.
Good morning to you. It's Front Page News and Analysis on Classic FM 97.3. Keep your messages coming in. Just send them to our SMS portal, 33973, Twitter Classic FM 973. With the hashtag FPN and post it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Classic FM 973. Good morning, Jimmy.
Morning. Sorry, you caught me whilst I was yawning. Morning. Good morning, everybody.
All right. Starting with the nation, we have the headlines. Oyegu loses extension bid as Buhari stays firm. Jigawa governor likely to chair convention. NEC meets on Monday. 3 dead, 6 injured as road sign falls on bus in Lagos. US-UK envoys Otedola holds talk on economy. APC-NWC tenure, governors align with Buhari. Buhari approves $1 billion for security equipment purchase. And as defilement case rocks court, teacher-driver allegedly defile 8-year-old pupil. CBN retains interest rate at 4%. Vanguard, APC governors back Buhari to end Oyegu others' tenure. Count your blessings under Buhari's government, says presidency. And alleged 4.98 billion naira unremitted oil funds, why Diazani wasn't indicted. And that's from McAfee. We start with this in detail. NW's tenure, APC governors align with Buhari. Some governors elected on the platform of the All Progressive Congress met with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa on Wednesday, barely 24 hours after the initial meeting. The Tuesday's meeting held had apparently failed to resolve contending issues concerning the party leadership.
Thank you. So the Jagaban's word that you put on the table is still valid. Okay, what this means essentially is that you're going to have a Congress and you're going to have a convention. And this is where you're going to know the boys from the men in the APC. This is the first match towards gubernatorial elections, towards the presidential elections. Now, the various groups, that had been a lot of infighting and so on and so forth for the past 3 years. Remember, the last time they had a Congress really was before the elections, which most of them probably didn't even believe they were going to win. So this is going to be a fight to the finish. Okay, it's going to be a fight to the finish across the states everywhere. What I hope is that they can tidy everything up before they produce candidates for the elections, and they'll be able to handle the ripple effects from all this. Everybody now would have gone back to their tents, getting their watches ready. Most likely, in most of the states, is the governor's people that will win for obvious reasons, because the kind of watches that these governors have and the kind of money they have at their disposal in a country where you have no budget for security vote and is not reseated, I can jolly well imagine what's going to happen. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see whether some people will take money and do the right thing, which seems to be what is going on, in the country now. A lot of people are saying, if they give me money, I go take, but I go do the one way in my mind. And maybe that's what happened, for example, in the Congress that produced Buhari. Remember, there were a few other candidates, especially the one who came third. I heard he spent a lot of money. He didn't come second. He came third. So maybe with that spirit, except, of course, they now make it an open ballot. So where you can see that, look at this rascal that I gave 200,000. Why is he putting up his hand in this manner? But I am sure that they will make it most likely might be something like a secret ballot. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. I would love a united APC, a united PDP, and a united Third Force to run for this election, so we can have a clear idea of who's doing what. But like we always say now, much as we say if they bring money, make you take them, the same second thing also applies. Don't vote for parties. Vote for individuals. If there's an individual in your neighborhood, you know him, you know his history, you know who he is, you know what he's capable of doing. Whether he's in the Green Party Neo, or he's in NAP, or he's in you chop I chop party, vote for that individual. But he must be somebody who must have a lot of respect. He must have good pedigree. Good pedigree doesn't mean he must be rich. True. He must be a man of principle. That's what I'm telling you people this morning. Please, I beg you in the name of God, don't vote for parties. Leave the parties to sort themselves out. Vote for individuals, that person that you know. But it's difficult for me to tell you that if they bring money, make it not. If they bring and take, chop them. But do the right thing. Because the one way you chop, because if you just vote just because of money, that's one way you chop, your belly go wrong for 4 years. Everything, including the chop, we did there before everything go come on.
All right.
So that is my advice to the people. But politics is getting very interesting. It's also getting very dangerous. So all of us need, we need to be on full alert and be ready.
Bar Bench News, it says here, Muslim lawyers reject new FCT court dress code. The Muslim Lawyers Association of Nigeria has rejected the new directive given by the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, on how lawyers should dress.
Again, the hijab issue has come up again. But I think it is in court. I think there's a court case on it. So there's a limit there's a limit to how what one can say about this. But the truth of the matter is for me is this. One, Nigerians tend to believe that Nigeria is made up of Christians and Muslims only. I mean, if for example, we say that, okay, I'm just trying to speculate. If, for example, okay, you can wear the hijab and so on. What happens to members of the Guru Maharaji sect? What it means is that somebody who is like my friend Dubi, who is an Ifa devotee, he can go to court wearing an Ifupa or Ladi or what do they call? We need to be careful.
Well, they'll tell you the Constitution only recognizes.
Well, I don't know. This thing about everybody talking about rights. There's a limit to rights. But I have a surprise for everybody. I'm going to read from a newspaper in Saudi Arabia, March 20, 2018, Rajab 2, 1439. I don't know if it's March. I think it's March. But it's 2018. And this is from the Khalid Times. I'm going to put it on my blog later this morning. It says, hijab, abaya, not a must. Saudi CP, Crown Prince. This is Saudi Arabia, the home of Islam. It says, women in Saudi Arabia need not wear hijab or the abaya as long as their attire is decent and respectful. The kingdom's reform-minded Crown Prince has said. Crown Prince is the head of it. And he says, with the ascent to power of Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the kingdom has seen an expansion in women's rights, including the decision to allow women to attend mixed public sports events and the right to drive cars from this summer. The laws are very clear and stipulated in the laws of Sharia that women wear decent, respectful clothing like men, Prince Mohammed said in an interview with CBN television. This, however, does not particularly specify a black abaya or a black head cover. The decision is entirely left for women to decide what type of decent and respectful attire women choose to wear. And the prince asked if women were equal to men, and he said, absolutely, we are all human beings and there is no difference. The Crown Prince also said he's working on a way for a new initiative to introduce regulations ensuring equal pay for men and women. Now, there's now a rider there. Women to decide on decent attire. 1, the decision is left for women to decide what type of decent attire they choose to wear. 2, we have extremists who forbid mixing between the two sexes. Men and women are all human beings. There is no difference. Regulations ensuring equal pay for men and women on the anvil, and so on and so forth. If for example, you want to cover your head, I can understand that. But you already have the wig to cover your head. And we should stop thinking, if everybody were to exercise his right, the whole place would be in confusion. Supposing a member of the Celestial Church says because he's a prophet, and the directive he has is that he has to wear his sutana without wearing shoes. And he's also a lawyer, he's a senior advocate of Nigeria, and insists that he must carry out his job.
That's not the uniform for the bar. His sutana is
Exactly. So there's a limit to which we should stretch these things. And there's a lot of mischief in these things, if you ask me. I was born a Muslim. I mean, when I was growing up in the 50s and 60s, that nobody said anything about hijab. I mean, what is all? I don't understand where the controversy is coming from. But like I said, the thing is in court, so there's a limit to which one can talk about it. But I beg all of us not to light up this country over things like this. And I also beg Christians, Muslims, join together. You might not even be in the majority, because a lot of people they practice these two religions as a social whatever. Back home, they know where they go. So if everybody wants to exercise his own rights, according to his religion, that is why, look at what happened in Rwanda. See the way Kigali, it says it's going to regulate the practice of religion. I keep insisting it has to be regulated. Yes,
that's what he says. You have to go to theological school before you can.
Before he banned about, was it seven? How many churches?
700 churches.
700 churches in one. You must regulate it before people set this country on fire over sometimes what I might call some kind of mischief. You can't. Democracy doesn't mean that you have an absolute right. If you don't want to wear a wig and gown, then you don't want to practice law. I mean, I don't understand these things, but...
I'm just looking at something interesting here.
What's that?
Yeah. It says here, the Chilean public bid farewell to their president, Ms. Michelle Bachelet, after finishing her term in office. And during her term in office, she improved the education, health system, created jobs, and didn't tolerate corruption.
Exactly.
She left office owning 1-bedroom flat and a motorcycle.
Did she tie any roads?
And come and see. How many things did she commission?
How many roads? How many roads did she? Honestly, our politicians are small-minded.
And come and see people hugging her here. You can see so much love.
Our politicians are small-minded, and they always think that they are talking to dummies. We will no longer be stupid with these things. Is there any mention of her tarring any roads there? That is not how to judge success.
It says here she improved the education
and what
health
again?
System, created jobs, and didn't tolerate corruption.
Exactly. If it was here now, they say, she built so many roads
because
from here to here and there to there.
Our able senator, our able governor, thank you, on your own money that is supposed to provide you services.
She has, what does she have? One house, one flat?
She owns a 1-bedroom flat and a motorcycle.
Come on, he don't know as it be.
Well,
do you want to see a governor's assets after he leaves government in Nigeria?
We should be doing before and after, Abi.
Who will you ever see it? They are so smart.
Do Nigerians have right to record policemen doing something illegal? And that's the Vox Pop for the morning.
Well, the truth of the matter is, if you want to do it, you better have a zoom lens. Femi Falana here, this is Vox Pop, says, why not? Ordinarily, we are supposed to have CCTV all over the place. Contracts were awarded in Lagos and Abuja, but the money was criminally diverted. You see now. About $470 million was stolen. Abdul Rauf Ibn Bello is a lecturer at the Department of Political Science, National Open University of Nigeria, says it is the constitutional responsibility of every citizen to assist the law enforcement agencies in detecting, preventing, and enforcing the laws of the land. It is lawful to record or procure any material that is impeccable and can be admissible in evidence against any law enforcement agent performing an illegal duty. My good friend, my good bro, Festus Kayamo, SAN, who is described here as a human rights lawyer, says that absolutely, Nigerians have the right to do so. It is an absolute right. They have an unrestricted and fundamental right to do so. This is because policemen are public officers performing public duties and as such are subject to public scrutiny. Whilst we're at it, I just got a phone call from some taxi operators. They usually sleep in their cars at night, very close to my house. And I heard that they came and packed all of them from inside their vehicles and took them to Bode Thomas police station. I don't know why that is happening. These are elderly people.
They were wondering.
How can you wonder when you are sleeping in your car? I will face them when I get back.
We'll take a break.
We'll take a break.
We'll take a break. You can continue right after the break.
One Monday morning, all on a free readers association, now shift to one side of bed. You don't go buy paper, you don't go one let people go buy zero.
I don't tell you. You don't see him.
Bonus for life, man.
Oh boy. Hey, stop. I said stop. Go back that page. MTN 2,000% bonus.
Wow. Sure, you're not the wrong go.
2,000% bonus if I begin use my MTN SIM again. Oh boy, come on for.
Yes, so if you never use your MTN SIM for the past 45 days or more, the time don't reach to come back again to enjoy Obonge Awoof. Just go recharge your SIM now and enjoy 2,000% bonus on top your first recharge every month. Now you be say, if you recharge 100 naira, MTN go sama you 2,000 naira fia. Oh yeah, Abi you still the wait? If you no fit find your MTN SIM, no wahala. Just go the nearest MTN shop, go to SIM swap and enjoy 2,000% bonus. Tips and conditions they shall.
You're tuned in to the Front Page News on Classic FM 97.3.
Still front page news and analysis on Classic FM 97.3. Okay, do you want to complete that?
No. Let's go on. Yes.
We're moving on to this next headline. Oseni joins Plateau Guber race. A senator representing Plateau South at the upper chamber, Senator Jeremiah Oseni, has declared his intention to contest for the governorship race on the platform of the People's Democratic Party in Plateau State.
Won't these people please leave the scene for younger people? I mean, Jeremiah Oseni served as governor of Bendel State in 1983. And then became a senior military officer under General Abacha. I think he's a former minister. He was also a minister and he didn't make service chief. Why would Chief Jeremiah, where he's now senator, contest for governorship again on the platform of PDP in 1983? A man who was governor in 1983 is well over 70. Why would he want to contest? I think the youth in that country should rise up in one voice and vote him out.
State?
In that state, rather. I don't know. I find this is very, very embarrassing.
No, it's not.
It's very embarrassing. Somebody
because they
should
tell you the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. So what chance have they had to be that leader?
Do you know that somebody born in 1983 is about 36?
True.
The man fall my hand. Please, let us leave the scene for these younger people. I'm surprised that General Babangida has not put a call through to him to say, Jerry, what's happened now?
But we thought being a senator was a retirement plan. You know, when you become a governor.
There's a good retirement plan with 13-point-something million every month.
And he's now going back to...
This one is...
Okay, let's take some of your comments here. Madikeshi says there should be a police complaint platform for the masses to have a voice and to checkmate this rampaging policemen. Odede Isani said, you need to see how the roads were commissioned by the governor in my area on Monday. It was done with fanfare, ashrebi, killing of cows, cooking, Fuji musicians on ground to grace the occasion. Honestly,
you know what is sad about this? What is sad is that you now come and start taxing the people. It's a complete waste of money. Sometimes I won't be surprised to discover that the money spent in commissioning is even more than what you could have used to tar the roads legitimately. Let me quickly put the word legitimately there. Because every contract in Nigeria is inflated. You compare it to other countries in the world, 2-3 times more.
But we're supposed to have some freedom of information bill. Well, we have what the budget says, what amount has been spent on certain projects concerning us. Because if it's our money,
no, to go, the government accounts are part of the secrets. You know, when you work in government, every file, all the files are put in a secret. So our money that has been spent, how it is spent is a secret. We are not supposed to know how.
Our own tax money.
Yes.
Don't we need we deserve some accountability and transparency?
What do you want to know for?
What did you spend my money for? How much did you spend it?
What do you want to know for? It's a secret. It's a security matter.
It's classified.
It is classified. Don't go and listen to fellas authority stealing, mismanagement, misappropriation. I beg. You see, Buki, I'm telling our people, if we don't liberate ourselves, if we don't liberate ourselves from these people.
Do we want to be liberated? Because when you go on social media, the kind of things you get in the past government...
Forget Buki. A lot of what you see planted by 25 people in social media is planted by one person. You should have known this trick by now. You don't bother about what you see about 40 people reacting. I remember if you want to see a post, somebody who does it very well is Okojo Wiala. If you have a post that you see Rufus Tani, all kinds of names, Ahmed Yusuf, this one, Bello Obi, all kinds of funny names like that. Forget.
Okay, Uncle.
People are not. I repeat. Sorry, Buki, to cut you. People will no longer be stupid. I can tell you that they will no longer be stupid, and at the appropriate time. You know, it's like you put a pot of rice on the fire. First of all, it's a bit simmering. After a while, if you don't look carefully, the pot, even the lid, might fall off. Let the politicians keep deceiving themselves that they are deceiving the people. The day that the people will get up and ask relevant questions and ask for answers, on that day.
Uncle Jimmy, please note Saudi Arabia is not reference point for Muslim but Quran and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad.
I did not say the reference point. I said this is what happens. Is it not Saudi Arabia you go for pilgrimage? I better leave that one, Joe.
Okay.
The truth is, let's be honest and stop. Let's stop this thing. We know what all this is about. Let's stop it.
Well, Abubakar is saying...
Let people practice religions in their homes, their churches, and their mosques and traditional worship centers.
Abubakar says the position of hijab in Islam is very clear. So he said...
I've read what has, in the Khadija times, what takes place in Saudi. When you call yourself Alhaji, is it not because you have gone to Saudi?
But they are referring to the Quran, and the Quran is the book that actually...
I can't argue with anybody on the Quran, in all honesty. It's a holy book. I can't argue with that. It's not... The holy book, religion is not about logic, it's about faith. But what I'm saying is that in the home of Islam, Saudi Arabia, this is what happens. I've not said more than that. You understand? All I've said, I'm not ready to argue because I don't know. What I do know is that this is what prevails in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, women are not forced or whatever to wear the hijab. Okay. It's as simple as that. Let's keep logic where it is.
This one says Buhari has approved the release of $1 billion for security equipment, and he says reminds me of monies released for the same purpose by.
Whether you like it or not, you need money to prosecute all these wars, and these things are expensive. I know that a lot of the money goes, out of the cookie jar into private pockets. But even if you do want to spend, the money legitimately, it costs a lot of money. Do you know how much an Alpha jet could be? Just one jet? Do you know how much a tank would be? You understand? That's the price we pay for sheer irresponsibility on the part of all of us. So when some of us keep preaching peace, the implications are far and wide. Far and wide. You have a Boko Haram crisis, you have a Fulani herdsmen crisis, you have the Niger Delta. This thing. Somebody has to pay for the guns, the bullets, the tanks, the planes, the helicopters.
So $1 billion?
Buki, just go online and find out how much a tank costs. Nothing is hidden in this world. Google it. Google it. You just go and find out how much at AK. But be careful, because if your ISP is being monitored and they see you googling AK-47 and so on and so forth, heaven help you. I know the very bon.
Omotaya says, but the young ones would rather be hoping for crumbs at the feet of the old guys. The young ones are satisfied with being PA and essays.
No, not anymore now. A lot of them have wisened up to it. They just need a sense of direction and encouragement. And we will encourage them. How can a man who was governor in 1983 still want kilo day? Because the man who was born in 83, any moment from now, himself is going to be a pensioner. A man was born in 83. I don't know mathematics. Agbede, help me here. How old is he? 83.
30.
Okay. Toby was born in 85. She's 34. She's about 36 or 37. That's about my daughter's age. So as kilo. What is it that way? You lost it. It's not 35. It's 37. He doesn't know. He went to Ibobi. He doesn't know mathematics.
Just stubborn sometimes. Advabo says, what is wrong with my state? What exactly is it with Jerry? God help us. And this one says, GB says, please, when did wandering become an offense? Whatever happened to freedom of movement? That is what they usually accuse people of.
How can you wander inside your vehicle?
And Jab talks, Oyegu has been used and will soon be dumped. That's politics for you. And Nation Builder says, well, that is sleep wandering. Obaseki sacks commissioner over sweepers protest.
Obaseki, my friend. I need to put a phone call through to him. He did something that most other governors would not do. What happened? The sweepers, they gave the contract out to some people to organize sweepers. And he suddenly discovered that the sweepers had not been paid for months. We had that same experience here. He didn't just sit back and do nothing. You understand? What he did was he cleared he sacked the Commissioner for Environment, Reginald Okun. He also sacked the General Manager of Edo Waste Management Board, and redeployed the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Environment. Why should these street sweepers not be paid? That is a governor who knows what he is doing. And I am glad he has done just that. A governor must be hands-on on situations and not sit back and allow critics to keep going on and give us job to do every day. As we speak now, our own state here is on lockdown still, on refuse. I was told about Idumota this morning. But this is somebody who knows what he's doing. He sacked everybody, cleaned the table, bring in new people. Even if it is just for all you care, even if it is just symbolic, he has done something. His people now feel that, because the street cleaners went on protest. So he sacked everybody. And because he said, this is what Obaseki said, he said that the government was not indebted to them as they were hired by contractors, but the aggrieved sweepers maintained that they were engaged by the government. And they said the governor was angered by the poor handling of the contractors by the ministry, and then he sacked all that needed to be sacked. That is my good friend Obaseki. I should pay him a call. I'm going to pay him a courtesy call and endorse him. No, he's not running yet.
Okay, I want to endorse.
Who can I do that?
Benga Taylor says, until independent candidacy is enshrined in our statute book, we may not be able to do away with parties outright. What parties give are what we have to contend with. We're rooted for and voted for the person of Buhari via the platform of APC, and both the person and the party are somewhat roundly disappointing. God help us. Mohammed says, who is United Third Force? Jimmy, are beginning to speak below your standard. Obasanjo is the spearhead of the Third Force and should condemn anything from that man.
Can you tell me what my standard is that I've now gone below? Making another day, you have me like this now. What is my standard, Buki? I want to be mischievous.
You know your standard.
I can't know my own standard. Now you are the one who, the closest. On earth, you are one of the closest persons to me.
I don't know that. I
didn't say that there's anything. No, I'm not talking about that.
Chibuzo says, good morning, Uncle Jimmy and Lady B. I smell something in this APC governors. I think they will all stand for Oyegu since they control the delegates and he will win and nail the Tinubu political
The governors
career.
want to have a good hold, and now is an opportunity for them to have a good hold on the party. Some of the governors are going to ditch their godfathers. They'll make an attempt. You will see what will happen. Some of the governors, for example, have parallel, they call them caucuses and whatever, compared to what is on ground. The one of Lagos, we must monitor it very well.
Everyone
it will be nice.
watching.
Just get your biscuits and soft drinks ready. I'm not saying we're gonna go drink beer, but it will be a nice movie to watch.
Gbanigechi is talking to the young ones. He says the young boys like taking selfies with this men, asking for the crumbs and satisfied listening to Davido and Olamide.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Our young people now, they are up and doing.
Okay. All right.
Can I go now?
Yes,
I need to
can.
feed this guy. I need to feed
Go ahead.
my son here. I need to take him for breakfast.
Sports Express
carry
right
my bag.
after.
Let's go.
One Monday morning,